Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on a Wednesday, and it is a big day. And you're wondering, why does it say Sports Friday on the go behind me and not the 9-minute Phill-Up? Well, it's a big day for Sports Friday on the go. We have a big high school extravaganza. It's our high school media days, but now with a twist. We're going to have them on Sports Friday on the go. That means they're going to be on Fox 9 from 5 to 8 tonight, Thursday night, and Friday night, and all of our digital platforms. So we're going to be talking high school football with all the coaches, some of the players, band directors, and we start tonight at the Highlands at 5 o'clock, and then tomorrow and Friday, that will be at Seven Ranges Entertainment in Steubenville. So a lot going on with high school football. Now, one man that if you knew him, you knew he loved high school football, and he loved his East Liverpool Potters. Frank Digger Dawson, an all-time great, just a great human being. He passed this past Friday at the age of 90, and we were saddened to find that out. And one of his great friends is the head coach, Lou Holtz, the national champion, Notre Dame head coach. He's coached seemingly everywhere after Notre Dame, South Carolina, tremendous success all over the place, but a childhood friend. They went to high school together, and Digger Dawson was the one that came up with the idea for the Lou Holtz Hall of Fame. Lou didn't want anything to do with it. Frank convinced him. Lou said, if we do it as a Hall of Fame, maybe that'll be more, he wanted to do a museum. They figured it out, became the Lou Holtz Hall of Fame. Tremendous success there, and Digger Dawson, the driving force in that campaign. And we had an opportunity to talk with Coach Holtz the other day from his home down in Florida, and he was able to share some of his thoughts on the passing of an iconic East Liverpool Potter and a man that just loved the Ohio Valley and all it stood for, Frank Digger Dawson. So at this time, I want to share this interview that Coach Holtz did with us the other day on the 9-minute Phill-Up. Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on another edition of the 9-minute Phill-Up, and we have a very special guest with us, the head coach, Lou Holtz, the Hall of Famer, Notre Dame national champion, and he is here to talk about an East Liverpool legend. And many from the Ohio Valley, from the East Liverpool community, know of Digger Dawson. If you're from outside the community, he is a man that absolutely was someone that everyone in the community turned to, and he was a great friend of Coach Holtz. And Coach, what made him so special?
I first met Digger my freshman year in high school. That was about 75 years ago. He was just a unique individual. He got things done in every way. He was Mr. East Liverpool. I mean, if there was a project to benefit East Liverpool or the area, Digger Dawson was one that did it. And he was so funny. Every time I called him, I'd say, "How you doing, Digger?" He'd say, "I'm still right in front of the host." And I just thought, what a great definition. He had a great sense of humor, but he loved the Valley. He loved the people. He loved high school football. He just loved East Liverpool.
I'll tell you what, he had sent, one of the last packages that he sent me was a package that included blue and white forever. It has all the seasons and the records and the scores. And then he had sent me profiles in leadership with your picture on the cover with the medal that the president gave you, and a quote from you that I think fits not only for what you're telling everybody with the quote. It says, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. And it seems like Digger, whenever he responded, that 90% was the gold standard.
He just was a great individual in so many different ways. Knew absolutely everybody. Was a leader in high school, and he went to Baldwin Wallace then. Met his wife in high school, Gretchen, a lovely girl. Every community should have somebody like Digger, but unfortunately they don't. East Liverpool was fortunate, and he loved high school football. He loved the Potters. He was a manager for it, and he continued to be a manager over all these years.
Well, and you mentioned high school football, and he was always ready to write another book, Blue and White Forever. It's just an encyclopedia. It seemed like he always had a different idea of how he could explain Potter football or Potter athletic history. And one of the things that he did in town with you was create the Lou Holtz Hall of Fame, which was just a tremendous success. How did that idea come together? How did that happen? How did you both work on that together?
There were a couple people, but Digger was the ringleader. Came to me and said, we would like to have a Hall of Fame museum for you. And I said, no, I feel comfortable doing that. I said, but if we have a Hall of Fame and we award scholarship to trade schools, then I'm all in. And that's what we did for, 45 years. We gave close to $100,000 a year to scholarship to trade schools. See, not everybody can go to college. Not everybody should go to college. But everybody should do the things that they can do to help the community. But Digger, he always found things to get them done. And I mean, he loved high school football. Growing up, we had a couple people in the community that made football fun. They had the Blue and White Non-Pro Club. They put out the blue and white flag, or all the vendors did. On the day of a game, you walk downtown, it's all blue and white flags all over.
Uh-huh.
And it just, we were fortunate. We had a coach named Wade Watts, who was also successful, who ended up going to, I guess, McKinley, the coach. But Digger stayed in touch with me. I mean, not after I became a head coach. He stayed in touch with me when I was a lowly assistant, working my way up. And I always called him. I always felt better after talking to him. But if you want to know what was going on, all you do is call Digger and say, what's going on? You know, we had a clock that you could see everywhere in town. And they tore it down when the old school burned down. Well, Digger put together a committee to have the clock reinstalled. And he did. And he started an alumni group that was ultra successful. And after he's done with that, he's looking for another project. That's when they come up with Lou Holtz Hall of Fame. And he always found people to work it, ways to promote it. I could not say enough good things about Digger Dawson.
Coach, you hear people all the time, say things like, I love my hometown. I do anything for my hometown, the people I grew up with, and everything it stands for. What do you think it was about East Liverpool for Digger that, and he would send notes to me. He would call me the man of action. And I would read that and I would think to myself, Digger's the man of action. But what is it that you think he just made his heart feel so prideful and so happy and good about East Liverpool that kept him doing these projects that a lot of other people would probably say, I'm too busy, I'm going to do something else?
You know, it's a very good question. The way I would answer it was Wade Watts. Digger and I were in high school together when Wade Watts was a coach, and East Liverpool football was absolutely outstanding then. Mm-hmm. And then it's replaced by Bob Gibson. It was very successful as well. But just a good time. People supported. I remember my junior year, we were playing Wellsville. Last game of the year determined whether we ended up undefeated or not. And we beat them real bad, 62-6, I think it was. And Coach Watts said, I don't want anybody make any plans. We're going to do something together as a team. And after the team, he took us out to Crockery Century Farm. And lo and behold, everybody's girlfriend was there. I didn't have one, but he had plenty of girls for me. And we danced. It was just a fun time. It was a great time. Everybody was, you could go downtown and the mayor of the town would say, do you think we'll take him today? And then you'd see little shoe shine boy. Do you think we'll take him today? It brought everybody together, old, young, rich, poor. And they just absolutely loved the Potters. And growing up, the greatest compliment that I could have was to be a member of the East Liverpool Potters. And I took great pride in that. We had a lot of good athletes that were on, but they brought out the best in you. And Digger's a guy that kept it going. You know, in the Hall of Fame, it was more than a Hall of Fame. Yeah, they had plenty of things, but he had every program from every game, I think, during East Liverpool's history. He loved the Potters. He talked about them all the time. And he continued to be a manager for the Potters for years later. I mean, that was just his love and his caring. And he knew absolutely everybody. And if somebody had a problem, it was Digger's problem. I remember the first time I heard this was from Digger. He said, I saw a group of men in my hometown, a group of men tearing the building down. With a heave and a ho and a mighty yell, they swung a beam and the sidewall fell. I said, the former of these men skilled, the type you'd hire if you wanted to build. He laughed and said, why, no, indeed. Common labor's all I need, because I can tear it down in a day or two. Would have took a builder 10 years to do. And I thought to myself, while I walked away, which of these roles am I going to play? And that's the way he was. He was a builder. He cared about people, everybody, and he left nobody out. I mean, he started, my Uncle Lou, who was closer to me than a human being, including my dad, because my father was in the service during World War II. And he and Digger became friends. They started this club that met, I don't know, every Tuesday morning at L&B Donut Shop or somewhere down there. But they just kept it alive. It was a group of people who took pride in being part of the Potter family.
You said he was a doer, a giver. Is there any way to quantify everything he was able to do for the community?
Oh, no way. No way possible. I mean, you had a problem, you went to Digger. You know, just the things that he did. He brought the skilled colleges there, the welders, all the people that went to school and learned how to do things. Because the people who became welders or everything else ended up making a very good living for their family and contributed to the community. And I could never leave East Liverpool in my heart because of Digger. That's what Digger made this thing go. But I go back to when I was in high school. That was probably the happiest time of my life. And I say that sincerely because it was a good football team and everybody in the community backed it. And I remember when I was 10 years of age, the band would meet in the diamond, which is in the middle of the field, and they'd play, and everybody would come and join them. And then they'd march a mile and a half to Patterson Field to watch the Potters play on Friday night. It just was a great time to be alive, and old and young, and even you were involved in athletics or you weren't, you still followed the Potters.
Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough for taking the time today to share some thoughts on your friend, a true icon, not only of East Liverpool, the Ohio Valley, but just one of those people. When you think of how do I want to be remembered, and I think of Digger and I smile because he was just so nice and so caring and wanted everyone to do so well. When I remember him, that's how I remember him. I'll think of Digger and I'll smile because he brought that energy and that love to everybody.
He did, and he always carried a package of $2 bills. Who bet somebody knew he would sign the $2 bill and gave it to him as a keepsake. But he just, I miss him. And I used to say to our football team, if you didn't show up, who would miss you and why? See, the only people we miss are those that add value to your life. And Digger was one of those people who did it. There's no way we're going to be able to replace Digger, Dawson. None.
The coach, Lou Holtz, remembering Digger Dawson, his great friend and really an icon in East Liverpool, an icon in the Ohio Valley, and just a great human being. One of those people that you point to and you said, I want to be like that guy, because he did for people and people loved him, and he loved people and he wanted everybody to do well. I can't thank Coach Holtz enough for taking the time to talk with us and sharing his remembrances of Frank Digger Dawson. Coach, thank you again for that, and appreciate your time every time that we have an opportunity to talk. And again, to Digger, rest in peace. Just rest in peace, and great job. Just a tremendous, tremendous human being. And when I think about him, I'll smile. So, Digger Dawson, rest in peace. Until next time, everybody, remember the 2 rules. And Digger lived by these rules. I guarantee he lived by these rules. Have fun and always try your best. The 2 rules, everybody. And I can't thank you enough for joining us. And we will be here tomorrow. And again, thank you for joining us for the 9-Minute Phill-Up. And again, if you're wondering why it says Sports Friday on the Go, check us out tonight from 5 to 8 on Fox 9 or any of our digital platforms. We will be bringing you media days for high school football. We'll be talking to coaches from all over the Ohio Valley over the next 3 days. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.